Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Lance from NerfThis.TV. Today we are doing mobile editing, on the go 4K editing. A lot of people have said to me that, is it really practical 4K? You must be getting like a really crappy quality out of it. This video will be edited on my iPad as if I wasn't in the studio and I was on the go, so that you can see the type of quality that you can get from this type of process. Basically, the whole lot revolves around obviously an iPad. I've got the latest 13-inch with an Apple Pencil and as much storage as I could get. I think it's got 512 gigs. If anybody's interested, this is the book 12 South book case. It's this old leather looking, I quite like them, so that's what I've got on the outside. The power that I use to plug into my iPad, I don't use the standard brick that comes with it because I find it very underpowered and it takes forever to charge. So what I do is I use the, I think it's for the MacBook, but it's the 29 watt brick, and then I bought a separate USB-C to lightning cable to go with a nice 2 meter to go with it. The reason that I've done that is we'll need extra power to drive all the little goodies that I'm going to connect to my iPad to make my life easier, basically. We start off with, Apple calls this the camera adapter, but basically it's a USB port with a lightning port for power, which is why we need the extra power, because we're going to be driving quite a few peripherals off this USB port, as well as obviously charging our iPad. Then what I do is I plug this into, get it the right way around, I plug this into my little USB adapter. So now I have 3 USB ports and I can plug my SD cards, micro SD cards, and it's got a CFast port as well. I don't use them, but maybe you do, into the USB port of that adapter. So now I have access to all of these extra ports because of the extra power that I've got coming through there, and I can plug my SD card straight in here, copy my media straight off onto my iPad for editing. I use LumaFusion for editing. It's probably the best video editing software available at the moment. Okay, then into that, the reason that I have this, which is a Apple LAN network cable to USB, is some hotels' wireless is shocking. Depending on where you are in the world, it's completely terrible. So they might, in some cases, have a LAN port in the actual room that gives you a better performance, which is why I carry this around with a network cable, and then obviously I would just plug it into my little hub and plug the network cable into it. If I'm doing work at home, I don't really feel like doing it on my Mac, then I'll plug this into the network because you do get better performance out of it, obviously. Rolling up the sound, obviously I just use a couple of little AirPods to listen to all my audio and while I'm editing. And then for voiceovers, I use this. This is a Rode NT USB. It's a reasonably priced product which has got pretty good sound. It's not something that you would use in a studio environment, but on the go, it's pretty good. Also, as I said, it's pretty reasonably priced. The only problem with this, even though it comes with a nice bag that you can put your microphone into, you have to break it down completely if you want to put it into that bag, which is sort of not really the point. But it's about as mobile as you're going to go for a decent. You can pay a lot more and you can get a smaller microphone that's specifically for an iOS device, but they cost quite a bit more than this does. So that's what I use for my voiceovers, and it comes with the world's longest USB cable that I've ever seen on a product anywhere. I think it's about 6 meters or something. You can see this is quite a bit of cable here. Anyway, so I plug this into the microphone and I plug this into my little USB hub. So now I have a microphone for voiceovers. I have a connection that I can plug my SD cards into and copy stuff straight off it, and even a network cable connection for a decent internet if it's available. Otherwise, I just have to deal with wireless. There are other solutions apart from what I've got here. This is fairly compact. I think the biggest things are really the iPad and the microphone and whatever cameras you're carrying. Whether they are a DSLR like I've got, which I'm shooting on, or something smaller. Maybe using your phone and a stabilized gimbal, whatever the case is. You need to get that media off of there onto your iPad. So this is pretty much the best solution that I've come up with, and it works quite well. As I said before, I use LumaFusion to do all my editing on the go on my iPad, and it actually works very well with 4K footage. I shoot on the camera that I'm shooting with now, I shoot 4K 8-bit in 60 frames a second. In case I want to slow something down slightly, then at least I've got a little bit of leeway, but I shoot everything in 4K. On my other camera I use 4K 30 and it works just as well here. When I'm shooting on the camera, it's generally, depending on the camera, 150 to 100 megabytes a second in 4K. This, once you've finished editing your project, and this whole video that you're watching now was edited in LumaFusion on the iPad, including the green screen knockout and the whole lot. Once you've finished doing all your editing on LumaFusion, you can output, they've got an extreme setting where you can output up to 100 megabytes a second directly to whatever, to your iPad, to your external device. They've started supporting external wireless drives, some of them. So you can export directly to those. You don't have to leave it on your iPad for too long. Or if you have the space, you can export directly to your iPad. Obviously that'll be the quickest, and then copy it off or upload it directly. As soon as you put it on photos, if the space becomes an issue, it is going to offload it anyway. So there are options. I've had people ask me that, really, should editing on iPad, the quality that you're seeing now, as I said, I've edited this entire episode on my iPad just to show you this is the quality that you can get out. And when I exported in extreme settings, so the best I could possibly get. It takes a little while to export, granted, but you're exporting on an iPad. So if you have any questions about the whole editing process on the iPad, I've gone over all the hardware that I use, so you can get a pretty good idea of how I'm working. But if you've got any questions, please post them in the comments below and I'll answer them as much as I can. If you're interested in learning LumaFusion, I have done a full course on it, which I've hosted at Udemy. There's a link below with a discount coupon code for the first 100 people that use the link. Okay, so once we've got everything set up that I've showed you, we take our footage, plug it into our USB. Okay, straight away, this is the clips I recorded on the first half of this video. So I'm going to import them, and because of the miracles of modern technology, I'm going to fast forward so you don't have to sit here while we import all of these. Okay, so finally it's imported. I'm not going to go into the whole editing process. Basically, I will then bring it in. Just copy to iCloud Drive. No, it wasn't. I'm lying. It was copied into videos. So there you can see the. I'll just replace that. As you can see, that is 4K. In fact, have a look here, you can actually see the information on that. That is basically 143 megabytes a second at 60 frames a second, 59.94, 4K. And we'll just mark it. And completely smooth playback. As I said, if you're interested in LumaFusion itself, I'll put a link down to the course that I've done with a nice discount for the first 100 people that use it. I'm not going to go into this now, but once we finish the editing, which we obviously do now, so we'll bring in all the various aspects. I've got on iCloud Drive, I actually have where are you? I have the screen recording of the iPad for when we recorded that, so I'm going to bring that into my compilation. And there it is. So I'm going to download that and import that as well. I'm now going to edit this whole video together with intros and all those lovely things that you would normally do on your video. Once I've done that, I'm simply going to export the entire movie. I'm going to send it to the rendered folder on my iPad. As you can see, you can change things and leave it at 60 frame or 59.94. And right at the bottom over here, you can see that we can export it extreme up to 100 megabits a second. And that is what you're watching now, so you can judge the quality of that. All the equipment that I've shown and explained in this video, I'll put affiliate links down below so that you can go and have a look at it, and maybe you're interested in purchasing something. It does help. If you like this type of video where we actually go through the whole process of what is used to do things like editing on the go, please let me know below and I can do some more like that. Subscribe, like, tick the little bell and all of that lovely stuff, and I will catch you on the next one. Thank you for watching.